Hi, good morning everyone. This is Jagdish, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Electronics and Communication Engineering, SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. And we are discussing already the communication systems as a video lecture series. In this lecture series, we have completed the amplitude modulation in a previous episode. In this episode, we are going to discuss about the frequency modulation. Come, let's get into the topic. So, what is frequency modulation? So, frequency modulation is nothing but of the changing in the carrier frequency in accordance with the instantaneous values of the amplitude of message signal or input signal or low frequency signal. So, this is called frequency modulation. So, why we are going for the frequency modulation over the AM, that is amplitude modulation, means you know that amplitude modulation which requires two times greater than of your bandwidth requirement, that is a 2 into FM. So when you draw the frequency spectrum, upper cutoff frequency, lower cutoff frequency, when you solve this, you will get bandwidth equal to 2 into FM. So the double times the upper sideband and lower sideband which appears at the output end. So this is the main biggest drawback. And also amplitude modulation, which is very less immune to noise. So and also these are already some facts why we are going for the frequency modulation. So in the frequency modulation, the amplitude remains constant, only the frequency changes will occur according to the amplitude of message signal. So the changes here we call it as frequency deviation, that is del F. Del F, that is one change, and another one change is another minus del F, like that. So this del F is nothing but of your the frequency deviation. So amplitude remains constant. That is the biggest advantage of frequency modulation. So amplitude will not be affected by any kind of a noise here. Only the frequency changes will convey the informations, right? So this is the reason why we are going for frequency modulation. And when you are coming for the block diagram representation here, as like the amplitude modulation, the frequency modulation also having the input signal, very low frequency signal or message signal or modulation signal. And where the high frequency signal, which is considered as a carrier signal, will be combined with the input signal. It's mixed with input signal, and the output would be the frequency modulated output. So this is the typical representation of frequency modulation. And the application when we are going, the amplitude modulation, already I told in previous episodes, amplitude modulation which can be used for video transmission. The main purpose of thing is video transmission, especially in television. There are two kinds of signal, audio and as well as video. This amplitude modulation which is explicitly used for video transmission. And what about audio? So the audio, when it comes to the picture, the audio would be processed by frequency modulation. So for the best example is television is one of the best example, and another one example is a transistor. You could have heard the Suryan FM, Radio Mirchi, some stations, right? So when you tune to the particular frequency, the audio signal you will be receiving, which has been broadcast by the station. So that kind of a communication we are using frequency modulation application, right? So whether this has a drawback or not, that means this amplitude modulation and as well as the frequency modulation, then again next we are going to discuss about a phase modulation. So everything has its own advantage and drawbacks, but how we are handling, I mean what is our requirement, based upon that we can select any one of the modulation methods. So each one of the modulation techniques which has its own merit and demerits. So accordingly we have to act on this. So when you see the frequency spectrum of frequency modulated signal is, that is I told you the center frequency will be FC, and the deviation which is considered here as del F. So del means, the delta means it's nothing but it means the changes. So this is the frequency spectrum. So hope you understood what is frequency modulation and what is the difference between amplitude modulation and the frequency modulation and the applications, and the importance of the frequency modulation. So in next session we will see the phase modulation in detail. So thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, you like it, And if you have any suggestions, you drop your message in the comment box. And if it is useful to the people who belongs to this field, you can share this video. And if you really like everything, you can subscribe my channel, Jagdish M. Thank you.